Hi, I'd like to take a moment and explain how I added some Makiwara capabilities to a typical bob bag. For those who might not be familiar, a Makiwara is an old Okinawan training tool that generally involved a wooden post with a wrapped striking surface on the top. Sometimes it was rope or straw or canvas. And the idea was that with the flexibility of the wooden post, you could strike it, cause it to bend, and then release it back. So this was a way to develop good power generation in hard striking. Now the problem is some people in modern environments can't execute that kind of a device, and I'm one of them. So I'm an apartment dweller and I'm on the 3rd floor, which means I have no ground to dig a post into, and also being on the 3rd floor I can't construct a large tub of cement or something in order to have a post like that. So I needed to come up with something a little different. I decided to use what I already had handy, the bob bag, and simply add a little bit to it. So let's take a look at how I executed that. First of all, this is the main piece right here. You notice it's on the flat surface of the bob so it doesn't slide around a lot. How I constructed it was quite simple. I took a standard hardcover book that's made out of compressed cardboard with pages in the middle, and I located a rough woven tablecloth piece of material. Now that material isn't specific. It can be a piece of carpet, it can be just a regular arts and crafts type of cloth, whatever it is you're able to find on a budget. So I wrapped this and then I secured it to the bob bag. To secure it, what I did was I created a 4-point duct tape harness essentially. So I took 2 pieces of duct tape and I created a meeting of them, and I wrapped them around the back and secured them in the back. And then I did 2 up over the shoulder as well. Now the idea behind this is, instead of duct taping it directly to the bob bag, which would be difficult to remove and maybe even damaging to the bag over time, this harness can be removed easily for repairs. Now, people who are more experienced in Makiwara training may choose to substitute out the book for a regular piece of wood. The reason why I chose the hardcover book is because it has a little bit more compression. For the people who are less experienced in Makiwara training, you can add something like a thin mouse pad to the inside of the cloth. Now, the idea of the cloth is that it's a slightly rough grain, which helps develop the resiliency of the skin as well as the bone alignment. Now you'll notice I have a 2-shirt structure in place here, and the reason why is because if I'm training on the rough surface and my skin gets to the point where I feel like it's taken a little bit too much damage, I can lower this 2nd shirt like this and continue training on a much easier surface. So that improves my hand health. A good general Makiwara training tip is to train your knuckles to the point where they're damaged so that way they'll heal stronger, but not to the point where they're cut open. The reason why is because the needed healing time for a cut open wound is longer than if you simply damage them a little bit as you go. So that's why you can use a rougher surface and a lighter surface to mix up your training. One nice added benefit to this kind of design is a lack of noise. So if you listen for a moment, you'll notice that noise won't disrupt the neighbors below me or side of me. One potential problem is that if I start to strike the bag to the point past its tipping point, then I've lost that gradual resistance that Makiwara originally had. So what I like to do to circumvent that is place the bob bag in a corner, so that way it hits the corner, can still compress, but will come back to me and not tip over.